that every human being has that right of self-determination. The United Nations unanimously, every one of them agree that everybody have the right to self-determination. Everybody, we have right to life. There is nobody on the planet Earth that doesn't know the situation of Nigeria today. I saw a video that was made by Dr. Mazanga. If you have not seen it, I wasn't able to get it. I'm going to get it and play it hopefully by tomorrow. You will hear what Dr. Mazanga said on his video. Those that care and those who matters, those who knows what self-determination are talking. They are talking. Nigeria is a failed state. And the only thing any sensible human being could do in that contraption is to try to save his head. That was what Master Samuel was doing. That was what he was doing. To separate his own people, secure them and save them, build a nation where people can be safe and protected. And Finland, for economic interests, they decided to criminalize self-determination that the whole world came together and approved. Self-determination that the international law approved. Finland criminalized it because of their own selfish interests. I want you to watch this video. I want you to watch this video. When you see this video, you will see where the whole world, all the world leaders came together and they agreed that self-determination is the right of everybody on this planet Earth, regardless your color, regardless your angle, regardless what you believe. Self-determination is your right. And I want you to pay attention to this very video I'm about to play and listen carefully.
United States of America is a steadfast supporter of the principles that people have a right to choose their own form of government.
Did you hear that? People have the right to choose their own form of government. People have the right to choose their own form of government. I want you to pay attention.
Clear. There is no room for double standards. International law must be protected always and everywhere without any ambiguity. In Ukraine, in the Middle East, and everywhere in the world, this is our global agencies and world.
There is no double standard. No double standard in international law. Every human being must be protected wherever they are. Everybody must be protected. And listen to this dead man.
We need to remind ourselves of the principles that led to the founding of the United Nations. Among those are peaceful coexistence and self-determination of peoples.
And there was hope.
Did you hear that late Buhari say self-determination? That people has the right to self-determination. These are prime ministers and presidents of countries. Every single one of them agree that self-determination is your right. You have the right to make your choice where you want to be, how you want to live, on what you want to be, the government you want to belong, and what you want to practice. This is what Master Samanaka was pursuing. Nothing else. This is what Master Samanaka was going for.
And some are also hoping now that territorial concessions to the aggressor would bring peace. History has proved that giving up territory for peace has too often led and will lead to further aggressions.
Did you hear it? History has shown that giving up your territory, giving up your land does not bring peace. Instead, it will bring more chaos. Kaja Kallas, former Prime Minister of Republic of Estonia, that history has shown that giving up your territory, giving up your land to the Janjaweed, giving up your land to anybody or your territory does not bring peace. Instead, it will bring more chaos. This is what the whole world have known and seen. But today, they are forcing us to give our land to the Janjaweed to take over. Master Samanaka said, no, you are not going to take our territory. You are not going to take our land. We will defend our land. And Finland decided to jail him because of that. Is Finland not a part of the international laws? Didn't Finland sign up for these international laws?
To achieve peace, we will have to learn from our own mistakes. Failure to do so would bring a colossal cost in human lives across the globe.
The solution of a conflict, in our view, has to be, like some of my colleagues have already said, based on a comprehensive, just and lasting enduring peace, founded on the principles of international law and the United Nations Charter.
Emerging economies.
International law, do they respect international law? So, in the case of Mazi Simon Ekpa, who was jailed for self-determination, where is the international law? Where is the respect for international? Where is the Geneva Convention? Where is the laws of the world? Where is the United Nations? Where are they? Where are they? That somebody is to be jailed for self-determination. Where is the international law?
With the goal of finding a path to peace, Canada will always be a strong voice for peace, democracy, freedom, and the international rule of law.
Canada, proving their own. Canada identified Nigeria as a terrorist country. That is why a high court in Canada declared the ruling parties in Nigeria as terrorist organization. When you look at the judgment of the Canadian court, it is not far-fetched. You don't even need to, in that case, you don't even need to travel to Nigeria for you to know. The information is available online. You can see the information with the Amnesty International. You can see the information with other bodies. You can see it everywhere about the criminality and the atrocities of Nigerian government. And Canada pronounced them a terrorist government. But yet, Finland, based on information from a terrorist government, is jailing a man for self-determination. Where is the international law? Where is the international law?
Chile, my country, as a small nation in the south of the world, with a population of 20 million inhabitants, understands that only adherence to international law and the protection of human rights can ensure peace.
Protection of human rights and adherence to international law. Nigeria that gave Finland information don't obey any international law. Nigeria that Finland is working with, lying on bed with. Nigeria that gave Finland information to German Samuel does not obey international law anywhere. They don't. It is not just that I'm saying it. Go and verify. The same Nigeria started kidnapping since 1980s. Kidnap of Mazen Nandekano was not the first kidnap. The kidnap of Mazen Nandekano is not the first kidnap. They are lying against other governments of the world. It's not the first time. They just lied against Japan, and Japan came and rebuked them. They kidnapped Mazen Nandekano, tortured him for 8 days, extraordinary rendition him to Nigeria against international law. Even the arbitrary committee of United Nations told them to release Mazen Nandekano within 6 months, and they refused. Where is justice? Where is the justice? Where is international law? And Finland is sitting on this criminality with Nigeria and jail somebody for self-determination. What a shame. Where are the nations? Where are they?
Freedom is an inalienable right and a natural entitlement that cannot.
You hear this Boko Haram member? That freedom is an inalienable right. Meaning, you cannot take freedom from anybody. You cannot stop anybody from having his freedom. This is what this Boko Haram vice president of Nigeria is saying. That freedom is our inalienable right. Meaning, nobody can take away your freedom. This is what this Boko Haram leader is saying. But today, they didn't only take the freedom of Mazen Nandekano, they continue to jail him, abuse all his rights. And today, they have again connived with another country in Europe to hijack a freedom fighter fighting for self-determination in Finland and jail him. Where are United Nations? Where are United Nations? Where are the voice of the world? Where are the human rights activists across the world? Where are you? Where are you?
Nigeria, having advocated in 2024 for the independent state of Palestine, should be bold enough to also accept the outcome of the Biafra self-referendum in peace or in pieces.
You've seen that, and you have that. Every single thing that we did was done lawfully. There is nothing that Master Samuel did that he did illegal. He followed the international laws. He followed the international law. He followed everything diligently. There is no way, no place, or anywhere he violated their law. But Nigeria went and cooked up lies with Finland. Today, human rights is at risk. Today, human rights is at risk. The whole world is watching Finland abusing human rights in broad daylight. The unjust trial of Simon Ekpa in Finland. The unjust trial of our Prime Minister Simon Ekpa in Finland. It shows us that human rights is at risk. How can Finland trust Nigeria? With the status of Nigeria, how can Finland trust information coming from Nigeria? Upon which basis does Finland trust Nigeria? Upon which basis? Finland, knowing what Nigeria is and what they can do, and what they have done in the past against Biafrans, and what they continue to do, even as we speak. Upon what are they standing to prosecute Master Simon Ekpa up to the extent of pronouncing 6 year jail time? And the lawyer was shameless enough to say, the judges were shameless enough to say that they are taking their judgments based on information gathered from Nigerian authorities. That is an indictment for Finland. It's an indictment for Finland to come out openly and say that their judgment was based on information gotten from Nigerian authorities. Nigerian authorities will know how fraudulent they are. Their case of fraud is on international court. Abuse of human rights is international court. Their recruitment of terrorists is international court. So how can any human being, any normal human being, after knowing the status of Nigeria in the world when it comes to human rights, and yet you boldly come out and say that you pass your judgment based on information supplied to you by Nigerian government? This is an abuse of human rights. And the world has to take notice that Finland have written their name bold among the countries that abuse the rights of human. Among the countries that promote injustice, Finland have registered themselves. No sensible country in the planet Earth today, in 2025, there is no country in the world that will rely on information coming from Nigeria. This is Nigeria, whereby when you go out of Nigeria with your document or certificate, you come out and tell people that this is your certificate, you're a graduate of this or that. Nobody will believe you. You cannot take certificate of that obtained in Nigeria and get job anywhere in the world without cross-examination, extraordinary cross-examination. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. In fact, some countries today do not accept documents that come from Nigeria. They don't accept it. So many countries in the world today, they don't accept documents that come from Nigeria. And when you submit any document from Nigeria, they have to scrutinize it over and over again. Then, tell me, upon what did Finland base what gave the Finland that audacity to say that they prosecute Master Simon Ekpa based on information supplied to them by a terrorist government, as pronounced by Canada? We know that Finland is just a small country of yesterday that don't know their left and right. They're still washing their belly. But at least they should have learned from reasonable countries and responsible countries like Canada. They should have learned. For Canada to release that information, that judgment for their court, it speaks volume. It speaks volume. And Finland, human rights activists across the world should be advocating that Finland should be placed among the countries that sponsor terrorism. The countries that abuse human rights, Finland have just registered. All in the name of pursuit for economic interest. Because of economic interest, you lose your conscience. You lose your mind. You lost your mind. You lost your mind. Simply because of the economic interest. You no longer have conscience. Your conscience becomes dead. How long shall we continue to suffer? How long will the world continue to permit double standard against the Africans, more especially Biafrans? How long? This is why our Prime Minister Mansamuel said that in Biafra, Africa died, and in Biafra, Africa will rise. Anybody on Africa soil, any activity in African soil, and you keep your mouth shut at this evil judgment of Finland, you are only telling us who your paymaster is. And as I said before, this is the time to know who their paymaster is, where people stand. This is where to know them. Anyone that keeps silent, you claim to be an activist and you keep silent at this injustice that is happening, that somebody was sentenced 6 years for self-determination, something that is spelled out in international law, promoted and supported by United Nations, approved by countries of the world, and yet Finland court is sentencing a man for self-determination and say that their sentence is based on information gotten from Nigeria. Who on this planet Earth today believe information that come from Nigeria? What gave Finland the courage to believe information that is coming from Nigeria against their own citizens that lived in their country for almost 30 years or more? Their own citizens that have lived with them for more than 30 years or more. He has no criminal record, not even one. You only begin to indict him of criminal record after he joined Biafra because of the information Nigeria gave you and your own interest, your own economic interest. For many years, he has lived with you in Finland. For many years, he has lived in Finland. He has not committed any crime. There has not been any indictment against him. Nobody has said he has done this or done that. But today, look at what we are seeing. Today, you can only see wherever you are as a Biafran. It is not yet over until it is over. And if you are a Biafran and you're not worried, you're not worried. I don't know the kind of Biafran you are. As for those who are celebrating, they are only celebrating their own death. They are only celebrating their own downfall. They are only celebrating what is going to consume them. And when it happens, there will be no place to hide. I don't know why Finland could trust Nigeria so much that they will base their judgment on the information they gave them. I don't know. The truth behind the trial of Master Samanekwa is that it's just for an economic interest. This is a political witch hunting. For economic interest. That's all. There is no other excuse anybody can give why Finland did what they did. But are we going to give up? We will not give up. Never ever. If you think that judgment will scare us away, you just misfired. That judgment will embolden us the more. That judgment will embolden us the more. The same way The kingdom of Mazen can embolden us. Just watch out. Biafra is going to give birth to something you can never imagine. When you took away Mazen Nandeka, you never knew that Mazen Samaka was there. You never knew. And today you have taken Mazen Samanekpa out. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. I don't know why any human being on this planet today, in a war, we have seen many reports. We have seen many reports. Those of us citizens living abroad that have Nigerian certificate, there is nowhere you will present that certificate and people will not look at it twice. It doesn't matter the number of years you spend in school or your qualification. Once you step out of Nigeria with your certificate, you have to start afresh. You have to undergo another training. You have to undergo another training to be sure that the certificate in your hand it belongs to you. Because Nigeria is fraudulent. Very, very fraudulent. A country where the president itself forged a certificate. A country that its president forged a certificate, entered into university as a lady and graduated as a man. Upon what is giving Finland the courage to listen to Nigeria? What kind of intelligence are you going to get from Nigeria, from Boko Haram? From Boko Haram. Nigeria is the only country today that is recruiting terrorists into all arms of forces. They recruit Boko Haram and they do it in the open, not hidden, so that he wouldn't come here and say we are lying or we are blackmailing them. They do it in the open. When they recruit Boko Haram into their custom, they did it open. When they did it to recruit them into police, they did it open on video. When they recruit them to the army, they did it open. So they are in every way. And not only that, somebody have already testified. We saw a testimony of that man that testified that there are members of the Boko Haram in Asorok. They are there in the Senate. They are governors. A testimony from a top official of the government. Let me see if I can see that testimony so that we can play it again. Because some of us forget so easily. We forget. And Finland, seeing all these things, yet you want to trust Nigeria and you are passing a judgment based on the information that was provided to you by a terrorist government like Nigeria. This is the same government that even Dubai government gave them information. Gave them information about those who are sponsoring terrorism. What did they do? What did they do? What did they do? Instead of them speaking against it or fighting against it, what did they do? They covered them. They protected them. They didn't want anybody to talk about it. They hid it. That is what Nigeria can do. A very terrorist country. That's all I know. I want us to listen to this very program again, where this man spoke about Nigeria. This is the Nigeria that Finland is working with. This is the Nigeria that Finland believes in. I want you to see the Nigeria that Finland is rapporting with. The Finland that is giving Nigeria that is giving Finland intelligence to jail a freedom fighter that is speaking for self-determination. I want you to see the country, how they are. These are the people that gave Finland information that they use against our prime minister. Listen.
What I'm requiring is the removal of section, the removal of personal in section 24 of the Constitution, section 262, section 277, and section 288, so that other relevant laws like the public, the commercial law, Islamic commercial law, the Islamic company law, the Islamic international law can have a place in the Constitution.
Okay, so that's a background because I remember that bill that was moved on the floor of the House of Representatives on the expansion of certain provisions of Islamic laws. And then there was a lot of uproar in different parts of the country, and so many not understanding what is going on here. And then, who knows, Mr. Kunyolami, then his narratives, what he has spoken about some time ago, many trying to see if they could connect the dots. But let's listen to this one before we come back to him.
If a fish is going to get spoiled, it's going to start getting spoiled from the head. The DSS will not do anything except the commander-in-chief's body language shows that this is the direction I want to go. That is where the problem is. The DSS has tremendous information. By the time 2023 is here and somebody take over and wants to undo some of this evil that I've seen in this country, you'll be surprised names that the DSS will bring out. They have the information. There's nothing I'm going to say here that they don't have. The defense headquarters have the solution for the kinetic aspect. They do. I'm not going to come here to advise them. I work with them and they're still there. The chief of naval staff was in the intelligence with me. We were together in the Defense Intelligence Agency. That's Vice Admiral Gambo. I know these people are good. They know what to do. It's not that they have problems. It has to do with politics. The sponsors, people that feel that this country should be Islamized. It's not about ransom. I just want to confirm to Marpe that she is right. It's not about ransom. They just want to pass a message. We can come in. We can do what we need to do. And there are some hardliners in this government that are sponsoring this kind of narratives. They just want to show that they can Islamize this country. They think about Taliban. They think about the Mujahideens. And they want to replicate it in this country. And they don't care what happened. They simply don't care. As long as at the end of the day, there's Sharia and there is whatever thing they have in their head and they want to achieve. So these people that are sending messages are sponsored by Nigerians.
The man that is speaking here, Kunle Olumi, this man is a commodore that have fought secret wars for Nigeria. Here, exposing the evil of Nigeria. There was a point where he mentioned that the terrorists are part of the government. And you see him explain. When he said there are people who are sponsoring this jihad in that country. There are people who are pushing them to do what they are doing. There are people who are making sure that the country is Islamized. This man that is speaking is a top security man. This is the country that Finland is supporting. This very agenda is what Mazisa Manapa is stopping. To destroy lives and property and force people into a religion they don't agree with. This is what Mazisa Manapa is fighting. This is what Mazisa Manapa is defending his people for. But Finland, this is what Finland is supporting. This man mentioned that there are people in the government who are pushing a different agenda. Even though they know what to do, they will never do it. Nothing will make them do it on this earth because of their own secret agenda. This is the people Finland is supporting. These are the people Finland is having to deal with. These are the people that gave Finland the information upon which they jailed our Prime Minister. Listen and hear what the guy is saying more.
Well, he's here with us now. That was several years ago. Colonel, former Navy Commander, Professor of Global Security Studies, also Nigerian Defense Academy. Good morning and thank you for coming on today.
Thank you very much. After 3 years, we have seen again.